This is the Trying to Harmonize podcast. Welcome. We're bad.
Yes. I was just vibing with I was doing jazz harmonization.
We have deeply traumatized my cat. She is looking at me like, what have you done? What have you done?
She's like, oh, I'm gonna join y'all out here, and then we're just like,
yeah, like language, like the English language alone must be confusing and jarring enough for her to listen to. But like, especially if like, I would be like very, very off put as a cat. If I were a cat,
I feel that's the closest approximation to meowing, though.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
But they're not used to that though. They're used to being like, hey, little moofin' foofin', hey, mump mump mump, hey, dingle dangle ding dang, hey, rabble dabble doo, hey, a raspberry pie rings single bingle.
Do you think we meow and they understand us in their dreams? Like when they dream of us, like we talk cat back to them?
Do cats dream of electric dreams? Yeah. No, that doesn't make any sense.
I always wonder that because, like, you know, that we're able to intellectualize, like, okay, like a cat and a dog are different from us, and they act like a cat and a dog in our dreams.
Yeah, but they I don't think they can like conceptualize things like language, really.
Yeah,
and I think like meowing is a social thing to them, but not a linguistic thing, where they like process like, oh, that meow means that specific thing.
Or we move in a way that acts as language to them.
Right, exactly. We move in a way, and like our inflection is the same as theirs, to where like a meow is very different from like a meow.
Yeah.
You know, and it all depends a lot on inflection. It depends on body language. It's a combination of different. The way we communicate with other people beyond linguistics is, you know, very complex.
Yeah.
And the way we communicate with animals is very similar to our non-linguistic skills with other human beings. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was just wondering, like, if in their dreams, like, we're walking on all fours and like scenting them and stuff, and being cats. Like, because that's the way that they understand behavior, or do we act like ourselves? Do they act like humans and do human things that they are used to?
Right. Do they have sex with us in their dreams?
and then we're the same size, and then we're both, and they're the same size as a human. Yeah. Because like I don't think cats can really like also like grasp the like size of things sometimes. I don't know. I think they probably think that they're the same size.
Yeah, like my dick.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's big. And my cat's like, meow.
Meow.
I'm like, no, it is. Trust me, it's real big.
Meow. And they themselves in the dreams grow hands and walk on two legs and
give me a hand job.
Yeah. Oh, hand.
That's the first thing they do if they had opposable thumbs. Is they jack all of us off.
Finally, I've watched you do it for so long in the corner of your room.
Let Kitty take care of you. You've been feeding me for so long.
Yeah, watch them think that's a social thing. They just watch us do it all the time. They're just like, oh yeah, just jerk them off.
Yeah. When the cats take over, is going to start by jerking us all off. Don't let your cat have thumbs, people.
Don't let your cat have thumbs. And also make sure your cat is locked out of the room before you masturbate.
Definitely. Yeah. Because it's going to learn. It's going to learn.
It's going to think that that's behavior that's acceptable.
And also, it's best to never come on your cat. Have you ever? Yeah,
No, I've never done that.
Yeah. You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. Yeah.
All right. Just checking.
I don't think I could live with myself. I think I would instantly. It would be like the end of In Bruges, where like Voldemort just blows his head off. just like gotta stick to your convictions and.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Blow my head off.
Yeah. So anyway, we're here to talk about. The animated series, Star Trek: The Animated Series. season 1, episode 11 today. The Terratin Incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we watched this a long time ago. And
we did. We watched this like 6 months ago, and I took notes on it, and I had to go back and like make sure that like all my notes weren't just like a copy paste from like Memory Alpha that I was like doctoring up, and I was like, oh no, I wrote this all myself, which is nice. So
yeah.
I had already gone through my entire process, and
hells yeah.
There were some funny jokes that I forgot writing. Which I enjoy.
You're making yourself laugh.
Yeah, I was like, hey, this one with the yucks.
Yeah, the yucks.
This guy with the yucks over here.
I mean, this was a pretty funny episode because it was basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, and kind of like a giantess fetish kind of thing.
Yeah. That's another case of
tiny girl fetish, I guess.
Yeah, the writer's barely disguised fetish coming out in the thing, but who knows? Like, it's hard to say it because it's like, you look at like some media from a long time ago, and you could definitely track like the rise in furries and basically the existence of furries to anthropomorphized animals, especially like the Rescue Rangers and other like sort of like 80s, 90s animation.
Really, because like you look at like what was really popular back in the 50s, and that was fucking Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse.
But was there a contingent of people that sexualized Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, when Bugs Bunny fucking put on the lipstick and the dress and stuff.
Yeah,
the CD sissy bunny stuff.
I'm not sure if that translated to like a sexual fetish or was just.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I don't think so.
I
don't think.
Well, it does now. I'll tell you that much.
I don't think there's evidence of furrydom. I want to say 90s. Early 2000s.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay, that's an interesting take.
Furries
have been around for a long ass time, brother. I mean, yeah, the internet has like given a lot more like space to them, which is great. But no, furrydom has been, people have thought they're animals for a long time.
It lived in the shadows.
I mean, yeah, we can go back to like like spirit animals and stuff like that. They're like and like. Shaman that dressed up as different animals and things like, there
were speakeasies where
furrydom is ancient and sacred, my brother.
There were like speakeasies in the 1930s where like they would go and like be like, what's the password? Yif. And then you go in, and there'd be like
they got a fursuit made out of real fur.
Yeah,
I had to trap 49 beavers to make my dog suit.
Yeah, just like a fucked up beaver pelt with two googly eyes on it, and a dick sheath. Just like but they go into the speakeasy, and it looks like at first like there's like a small bar where like there's like a lone drunk at a bar, and then like a bartender is like, right through the door, and then they go through the door, and then behind there's like a bumping furry party where they're all like rock hard and
fucking and sucking,
and drawing cartoons of gadget socket wrench or whatever her name is.
You just made me figure out how they could have really improved Eyes Wide Shut. Kubrick, made a good film there.
Yeah,
but I think it could have transcended to his greatest masterpiece had he made the orgies furry in nature.
Yeah, he goes in instead of like wearing those weird Victorian like creepy masks. Like
I have a couple of them on my wall.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. They go in, and like the most evil people in the world are just dressed as chipmunks and stuff. Yeah. I could see that. And then Gadget from Rescue Rangers.
Yeah,
like that's what they sacrifice. Like they use some sort of like dark power to bring forth a real life life-size chipmunk woman through the void. Like they made a tulpa of her. Like they wished a tulpa of Gadget into existence.
Yeah, and
then just like killed her and drank her blood and ate her flesh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, dude. Pretty good story, man. I like it.
So I should watch. I recently watched Onyx the Fortuitous and the the Onyx the Fortuitous movie. I can't remember what the name is.
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you know the guy goes, "Notice me, senpai. Notice me."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What movie is that?
He came out with a film. It stars Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs is in it as the villain.
Okay,
and it has some interesting people in it. But yeah, there's a scene where Onyx the Fortuitous wants to like Jeffrey Combs plays like a prominent Satanist, and so he invites 5 of his most devoted followers to this mansion, and he's actually like tricking them so he can the Amulet of Souls, I think it's called, and so he's actually tricking them to steal their souls so he can become more powerful.
Okay,
but he makes them think they're going through some tests to become his next, become one of his devoted followers.
Okay,
and there's one thing where Onyx has to tell his worst his biggest secret to a demon in a box, and the demon's like, "Tell me your secret," and he's like, "Oh, I wrote lots of gadget from Rescue Rangers erotic fiction on the internet." and there's payoff later where because also there's an early reference to Meatloaf. And so it has like a music video of "I Will Do Anything for Love" with Onyx being Meatloaf, and then he's seducing a woman that looks like Gadget and having sex with her. I was laughing so hard. I think everyone should watch that movie. It's fantastic.
What's it called again?
Let me make sure I'm getting the second part of the name right. It's yeah, you should definitely get it on your server. It's really good.
Oh, I didn't know I didn't have it. You should have told me.
I should have.
Before.
Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. It was like a crowdfunded movie.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it's it's not a perfect movie, but pretty good. It has some good effects. It has Barbara Crampton, Jeffrey Combs, obviously.
Yeah.
Has the one girl from The Magicians in it.
Yeah. What were you wearing when you watched it?
My underwear and my JO joggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get stinky.
Oh, it got stinky.
They get real stinky. Tell me how they smell right now. Please don't tell me you washed them. Please don't tell me you washed them. Please, God, tell me you didn't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Never wash them.
So, then they're really going to stink. Yeah. Check out Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. It's a pretty good movie. It's a cute movie. It's okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good, cute, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, he definitely goes through his he does his things where he goes, "Notice me, senpai. Notice me."
That's pretty fun. Yeah. Do you what do you think is the best kind of salad to put raisins in? Actually, better question. What's the best use of raisins?
Well, salad wise, I think broccoli crunch salad.
Okay. I feel like once again, a better use of a dried fruit in there is dried cranberries.
Okay, I can see that.
So what is the raisin better than the dried cranberry at? Is there anything?
I just think use wise, like raisins, I think are just sweet, where craisins have more of like a tang
tart. They got some tang on them.
Yeah, they got some tang where it's a more complex flavor, and yes, a more refined flavor for
non-British palates.
Yeah,
non-British palate.
Yeah, if you really want to zhuzh it up, you got to add craisins instead.
Yeah,
of raisins.
Craisins are like a lot more French.
Yeah, raisins.
Italiano.
I do weird things with raisins. I mean,
you fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean you do? Weird
I mean,
things?
I just like
you boof.
I just like to put
raisin boof.
I take a tortilla. I put peanut butter. I put raisins and a little bit of maple syrup. I eat that.
That's it. That's not weird.
That's good.
That's just like poverty food.
Oh.
I mean, I eat poverty food too. I'm not rich.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like I like raisins a lot. I eat them all the time.
Why don't you eat
I actually just bought.
instead?
It's funny you say that because I just bought a big ass box of raisins in my car right now.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Is because I saw the big ass box.
Big ass box of raisins.
Yeah. in my mind palace.
You're just
my mind palace, which is actually the backseat of your car.
Yeah,
it's weird.
You're just hiding back there.
Yeah, I just
call it my mind palace.
I put the box of groceries back there and didn't notice you, and you're just like looking through, like, yes, raisins, toilet paper.
So many treasures.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Star Trek: The Animated Series, Season 1, Episode 11, 11th episode of the series in its entirety, first aired on November 17th, 1973. So fucking a little over 50 years ago.
Yeah,
just
50
a
years.
little over 50 years ago.
Yeah.
The 50th anniversary of this episode was a couple weeks ago, which is crazy.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah. So this one was written by Paul Schneider, who is probably best known as the guy who wrote Balance of Terror, which introduced the Romulans, and also the Squire of Gothos, which introduced openly gay people on Star Trek. Arguably two of the best episodes.
I mean, I think probably the first episode introduced the openly gay people on Star Trek.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I mean, with openly bisexual, I think.
Yeah, openly bisexual.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So I think arguably these are two of the best episodes of the original series, and two of the most memorable episodes too, and two of the most iconic episodes.
Yeah. I mean, so iconic. Yeah, like Strange New Worlds did like their own take on Balance of Terror.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also a lot of people think that Q is a direct take up of the Squire of Gothos. Lorraine? No. What's his name? Something.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
Legay.
Legay.
Before that, Schneider wrote Mr. Magoo episodes and a Mr. Magoo movie.
Not the Mr. Magoo movie with Leslie Nielsen.
No, definitely not.
No.
That would be cool, though.
That would be really sick.
Hal Sutherland was the director of this episode. He directed the entire first season of the animated series. And his leaving at the end of the first season is largely credited as being the beginning of the end for the animated series.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So we open on a big, weird-looking circle in space as the USS Enterprise arrives. Captain's log, stardate 5577.3. We are approaching the remains of the burned-out supernova Arcana. Requested updated survey will begin with measurements of its radiation and volume expansion. So they're doing surveys on some shit.
Yeah, they're doing just like the normal shit like they do day to day when they're not dealing with some like super strange space anomaly or some shit. Just doing scans.
Doing little scans. So on the bridge, Spock says Arcana is entering its strongest cycle of emissions. So it'd be farting.
Damn, just like me.
Yeah, you did. When I had the mics muted playing. Wait, did you just do it again?
No,
dude. So Kirk requests a call to Starfleet to tell them they're getting to work, but Uhura says she's getting interference on a channel. Kirk asks for a source, and Uhura says it's from BOCEPHUS. More like BOCEPHUS.
BOCEPHUS.
Are you ready for the football?
I'm William Jr. Now we're ready for football.
We got a football in space now, BOCEPHUS. So it came from BOCEPHUS, a star that has never emitted this kind of radiation before. Kirk says to put it on speaker. Spock says the signals appear random and could be beyond their capabilities to translate until he figures out it's just one word repeating Terratin. Terratin. Computers show no information on that word, but Spock says it's not random. It was repeated twice in the same transmission. Would you check out Terratin if you were captain?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, yeah, that's a good attitude.
Sounds like Terrapin, which is like the mascot of the University of Maryland. And
that's true.
As a Marylander, like I'd be like, "Yo, Terrapins!"
Okay. Terratin!
Yo, Terratins!
Yeah. So Kirk has Sulu laying a course for Cephas, and Bones is incredulous, not wanting to abandon the mapping mission. Kirk says the signal may seem meaningless, but it can't be random. So he wants to check it out.
Hey, you never know. It's just like one of those situations, infinite monkeys typing on infinite keyboards,
Yeah, it's like if it is just a weird anomaly, great. But like it's more likely something.
Yeah.
And you got to check out something, see what something is. Even if it's a trap.
A trap.
So Bones says it's a waste of time if you ask him, but nobody asks him at all.
No one cares.
No, he just says it. You're like, shut your mouth unless you open it up for that dick, Leonard. Open up wide, baby.
Open up wide, Leonard.
Damn it, that's not till later, Jim.
We're still on the bridge. We're in front of all these people. Do you want them to know our love, Jim? Do you want them to know how I feel?
This is so dirty.
I'm so horny.
I'm your pig. Lynn McCoy nasty.
Oh,
we should call him McNasty.
Shasta McNasty.
Shasta McNasty, his favorite TV show, because there's a chance that he did watch it.
Totally. So they get to the planet, and Spock says the only data is from early exploration, and the planet is listed as Class M with a molten core and a crystalline mantle.
Doesn't really sound like Class M then. I don't know.
Class M for molten.
Yeah, Class M for molten. Yeah, because that's funny because when they get there, it's just like there's just like a million things erupting and like a million volcanoes erupting and just like completely uninhabitable. I'm like, this is supposed to be Class M?
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Yeah, there was that giant volcano on that one planet in that one Star Trek movie that was going to wipe everyone out until...
Yeah, but still, like, this was, like, nothing but volcanoes and no
true
plant life or animals anywhere.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So there's nothing on the surface but eruptions, which are absolutely shooting off the planet. They're, like, huge fucking eruptions. Down on the planet, we see a barren landscape with crystals protruding from the ground, and a light beams across to a diamond-capped satellite dish. Back on the Enterprise, Eric's gets the ship in orbit as Spock reports on the satellite thing that just happened, which he calls a disturbance. Kirk asks for details, but there are few. It's faint, and he can't figure out the source. Spock suggests delaying orbit until they can study it a little bit further. Kirk asks Sulu for a ship report, and everything seems to be working just fine. Eric says the sensors detect nothing abnormal. Kirk calls Scotty and asks if anything is wrong, and nothing. Once again, nothing abnormal.
Nothing abnormal.
Normal. He calls Bones to see if any of the lab animals are reacting strangely, and it's wild to think we'd still be experimenting on animals that far in the future.
Yeah,
it's a little weird.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we see Phlox. I mean, this is obviously after Phlox, but like, Phlox had like, a lot of his cures were animal derived.
Right.
Like, he was a very big believer. Like, Phlox was very like holistic medicine type dude. Like very natural medicine, which I really liked about. I like that take on.
There's a type of cum for every ailment.
yeah, exactly. And so like, but yeah, this was weird to see. Like, they just had like, transparent mice or something that they use. Like,
they're like ghost mice in a cage that I'm pretty sure he probably puts up Spock's hole.
Yeah, and like, just like puts a little tube, like a Habitrail tube in his asshole and makes.
Yeah.
But like,
take him, Spock. I know you can. I know you can, little logic boy. How does that feel? Does that feel logical to you?
But yeah, this seem like they're used as sort of like early detection, like which is weird because you think like their instruments would be finely tuned enough to detect any sort of like change whatsoever,
right?
And something that happens instead, they seem to use like animals as sort of like a canary, as a canary in the coal mine type situation.
And also, you're telling me that like Captain Kirk, spoiler alert, they get smaller. You're telling me he doesn't have like an alert on his like tricorder for whenever his cock gets any bigger or smaller? Like, he needs to know.
Oh, God, no! Yeah, like, but yeah, it's like anything that could read anything, but yeah, so which is kind of funny because, you know, like, as we said before, like, a lot of these writers, like, you know, Star Trek came at a time where, like, most writers coming to this didn't write sci-fi initially. They wrote Westerns.
Right.
And so this definitely feels like it was, like something that was reused from a Western script, you know, and then said, like, there's gas in this coal mine, the canary's dead, type situation. Yeah, because that's the way they were conceiving of, like, a lot of the technology and Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek, whatever. And so, yeah.
Doesn't matter what we're doing a podcast about. Fuck it. So Nurse Chapel reports that the halo fish are as bright as ever, a species that loses all color at the smallest environmental change. Yeah. They got that canary in the coal mine, and it's doing its hey, the canary came back.
Yeah, it's doing its job.
Yeah, so Kirk has the ship go into orbit, and Eric says sensors show the surface is heavily fractured by lava flows when suddenly a bright light shines and blinds Eric, who goes, "My eye!"
My eye!
As though we got a fat cum shot in it. No!
That's not till later! Oh!
Oh, I wasn't ready for the bukkake blast! And then a blast of light covers the entire ship, and everyone pauses and glows while some volcanoes explode on the surface, as though the entire planet is having a prostate orgasm. Where would the prostate of Earth be, do you think? Because the butthole's in Texas.
I think Australia.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's so far away from Texas, brother.
It is. I guess the butthole is Texas. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. The butthole has to be in America. Like, so yeah, like it would be Texas. So it probably, and that's probably why there's so much oil in Texas. That booty juice.
That booty juice.
That booty juice.
That booty juice, baby. That's what I call oil, is dinosaur booty juice, baby.
Dinosaur booty juice. Gotta fill my car with more dinosaur booty juice.
So after the light ends, Kirk asks for a status report, and Uhura says nothing much, and Sulu says everything is operating normally and they're still maintaining orbit. Spock says although reduced in intensity, they're still being bombarded with a signal that the deflector shield is useless against. Bones reports no casualties, and he also reports his love for Spock.
I love you, little twink boy.
Let's go get those transparent mice.
You're all I've got.
Get the habit trail going.
You're all I've got besides my fucking bullshit outdated politics that everyone hates me for. No one even invited me to Thanksgiving, and you have your la-di-da Vulcan holiday around then. So I spent it alone. I got pretty drunk. I got pretty drunk, Spocky boy, and
Everyone said they were just going to be spending Thanksgiving in their quarters, but then I just happened by the mess hall, and what do I see but a big-ass fucking bird? And motherfuckers carving it like fucking Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown? What does that mean?
I'm talking about Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
I don't remember how they carved it.
They're eating jelly beans and popcorn and a slice of bread.
Just one slice of bread, why?
Just one slice of bread. They're feeding it to a fucking dog. They can't save me a plate of jelly beans, popcorn, and a slice of bread.
Yeah. So, Scotty calls and reports no casualties, but reports the dilithium crystals are unpeeling like the rind of an orange, and all connections are busted. Kirk and Spock go to engineering to check the damage, and the dilithium has changed, which is wild to them since dilithium is supposed to be very stable. An engineer calls, and I think it's the same guy from the last episode who's played by James Doohan.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's James Doohan.
He's the Jeffrey Combs of TAS.
He is. He's just like, you know what? I bet if he was still alive, he'd still be like a Jeffrey Combs type character.
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
I'd love him to be in every Trek. He tells Scotty that the tools got bigger, and now they're too big for him to handle.
Hell yeah.
And Scotty's like... Oh no, you're talking about your penis. No, that's very normal with aging. I'm sorry,
actually, that's pretty average sized.
At best.
At best. Diplomatically.
Because you're my boss.
Yeah.
So Scotty says, you sound like you're blathering, man. Wait, I'm coming. And I should probably clip that. Kirk asks Spock, are you slumping? And he replies, I've never slumped in my life, Captain. But I was about to ask you the same. Suddenly they're interrupted as everything in the dining room has gotten big. The cups, tables, even the rings on women's fingers, because marriage is important to young people on a 5-year mission away from their families.
This is also interesting to me because, like, this is also implying nobody has any sort of body jewelry of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they were to be shrinking, like if someone had their nipples pierced or
something. Oh, yeah, fucking Nurse Chapel. She's like, oh, my clit! It's ripping through my clit hood!
Yeah, it would kill somebody. Like, I don't know if you saw that one movie, Downsizing.
No.
It's with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
That one was pretty interesting because, I mean, it was a very slow kind of like almost, movie that was kind of like a meditation on being small. It's just like, but they shrink people. The point is like they shrank people so there's more resources for more people. So like right. And so also people with a medium income can like be like millionaires.
Rich. Yeah,
they're rich because like their money
rich in
goes
small world.
Yeah, their money goes a lot further. And so like so they shrank people with this method, but they have to make sure to remove like all their fillings and body piercings and anything like if they had like a fake knee or something, anything artificial in their bodies would not shrink and it would actually make their head explode or something. So they would have, so like there's a scene before they shrink where they're just like pulling all the fillings out of Matt Damon's mouth and stuff. It's an okay movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So on the bridge, Uhura reports that the whole ship is growing. Spock suggests that maybe...
And Leon's getting larger.
Spock suggests that maybe everybody on the ship shrunk instead, and maybe continuing to shrink. Kirk orders Sulu to use all possible power to get away from the planet, which he thinks is the source of this shrinkage. And so it's cold in here.
It's actually the pool. It shrinked! It shrunk!
On the bridge, a very small Uhura tells Kirk their distress call hasn't gone through, as they don't have enough power to transmit to the nearest starbase. Kirk asks Spock what he's learned about the wave bombarding them, and Spock says not much other than it's beyond complex as anything Spock has ever seen. Scotty calls and tells Kirk that they've replaced all the parts they can, but they'll run out of power soon enough. So everything's fucked. Everything organic seems to be fucked.
You're gonna be fucked.
It would be real fucked. So Kirk and Uhura cut down the frequency of hails, and Eric cuts down the frequency of sensor sweeps. He says his eyes can't reach the opticals, so he can't do his job, and Uhura is like definitely in this position over the controls.
Oh yeah,
very doggy style.
Doggy.
Which is like, I'm not trying to sexualize her. It's just like they drew this shit, and I'm like,
They drew it while very horny.
Oh yes, it was a very horny drawing.
Yeah.
She says she can't reach the buttons she could operate 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, if MRES was in this.
Oh baby.
Oh baby.
You can. I'm gonna tell you, I would have paused that thing until my fucking my MP4 of it would be worn out, baby.
Yeah, I come over and you're just like, well, my notes stop when MRES bends over at the controls. I'm like,
it's like,
why? I know why.
I'm like, my notes are stuck together, and you're like, aren't they on an iPad? I don't know how I did it, man. It's a lot of cum.
There was some seepage somewhere and got into the circuitry.
Yeah.
But yeah. I guess MRES. We were talking about the furries. I guess MRES. Yeah, that's a very early furry queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Kirk calls Bones and asks for answers. Bones tells him to come to the lab.
So we can be alone, Jim. I can show you.
Be alone.
I can touch your soft, supple lips with my old hard penis.
I think we're alone now.
So in the lab, Bones says that everybody's weight remains the same despite them shrinking, meaning they're the same number of atoms, so they're super dense.
Which doesn't really come into play, really.
Not
too much.
really.
No. I thought
except their gravity doesn't seem to change too much.
Yeah, I was expecting the fact that they still weigh the same.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's sucks that they didn't get all the fucking deformed and weird looking.
That would be fucking cool.
They get just compressed.
But then Eric's becomes super handsome. That's interesting. My cheekbones are really coming through now.
And then his face bursts. But yeah, it was. I was surprised the weight didn't help them in any way. They couldn't find some way to use their weight, except maybe that's why they're able to press buttons.
Right.
Because they're able to.
They're very dense.
They're very dense, and they're able to put that weight onto the button to actually press it because they wouldn't be strong enough otherwise.
Imagine so if they jerk off, that really tiny little load that they blow is probably fucking weighs a lot, man. If you just collected a lot of semen from these really little guys, you could weaponize it, man.
Well, it would just weigh the same. I mean, it would only be effective, I think, if they were at that size.
Yeah,
because I think if it would still have the same weight as a normal load.
Yeah, exactly. But it'd be super dense, is what I'm saying, and so you'd have to collect a lot of it from a lot of little dudes. But then, you could use it concentrate, a concentrate. You fucking just take a dropper of that shit and put it in. Instant pregnancy, baby.
No, yeah, they're smaller and they're able to evade the
greater density. I think that's what matters in a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I never thought about that way. You know what? We should, if this writer is still alive. I mean, it's 50 years. He's probably dead.
He is. I like that he died in 2008.
Yeah, it's a shame, but we'll never get full answers on the load density of smaller people.
Yeah.
of some people who live in tiny town, the Thumbelina people.
Terratin,
yeah. The Terratin of Tiny Town.
So, the effect is like reducing the space between molecules. He says. Bones says. He says he'll never see anything like it again, and Spock says it's accelerating. Suddenly, Nurse Chapel reports that all the animals have gotten too small and have gotten out of their cages and enclosures.
It is funny because, we don't see the animals really pop up too much.
Yeah. Do you think, Bones' chastity cage has come off at this point as well?
Yeah, he's free. He's now a menace. Oh crap!
Oh, this old cock is gonna spread some terror around town.
Guess what? You don't have a cock cage for me anymore. I can live in this cock cage now if I wanted.
It's my little cocoon.
My little cocoon. I'm gonna emerge as a beautiful butterfly. A butterfly with a big fat dick.
Suddenly Spock notices something around Chapel's wrist. She says it used to be an arm bracelet, but it's more like a necklace now, which is totally unimportant.
Yeah.
Spock points out that although that seemed to remain the same size, the relative size of their uniforms has not changed. The uniforms, he says, are made out of algae-based xenolon. Is that vegan, do you think? If it's algae-based, are you allowed to eat algae as a vegan?
Yeah.
I think that's alive-ish, isn't it?
I think it's a sea plant, I think, right?
Are you allowed
I think you're probably thinking of plankton.
No, I think I'm thinking of algae.
Yeah, algae's grown. It's like a sea plant.
Well, it's like a bacterial thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Is it more ethical to eat bacteria or a plant?
I'd searched it up, but my phone died, so I can't.
No. Good. You don't get facts.
You don't get facts.
Haha, the facts are mine. I've got a monopoly on facts.
Only feelings allowed. Take that, Ben Shapiro.
So this is also interesting. In canon now, we know that their uniforms, at least at this point, are made of algae-based xenolon.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to think about, because I don't think they were in like the time of Enterprise.
No.
I might be wrong, but who knows?
I mean, I think it was just something that they made up to explain why they aren't all naked right now.
Yeah, but it's canon now.
It's canon. They're just like someone probably in the writers' room was like, well, I mean, if they shrink, like they're gonna get too small for their clothes, and they're gonna be walking around butt ass naked. And he's like, okay.
I don't think there was a writer's room here. I truly believe that like these scripts were written by individual people.
Yeah.
Like they're too different. Like there's no consistency in the animated series at all.
No, there isn't. That's why, this is introduced in this episode. Like the transparent mice are introduced in this episode, and and then we never see them again.
Never will.
No.
So Spock also notes that the coral in the fish tank is shrinking, but not the meteoric rock, suggesting perhaps that only organic matter is being affected. Spock,
also, he should know this just looking around the ship.
Yeah.
The ship is not shrinking.
Yeah. Spock postulates that the double helix of DNA, similar in structure to that of dilithium, is perhaps tightening. It's got that tight. It's got that gorilla grip. That DNA gorilla grip.
Get that gorilla DNA grip.
So Kirk asks what the limits of the DNA is winding, and Bones says it just stops at some point. And Kirk suggests that will perhaps allow them to calculate the limit of their shrinkage. And Bones is like, I've only got 3 fucking inches to lose in the first place, Jim.
I can't lose anymore.
Spock begins the process of calculating when they'll stop shrinking. On what? But Kirk also wants to know how much longer they'll be able to control their ship. Spock says the computer will calculate that. Then we get a captain's log. Captain's log, stardate 5577.7. We will lose effective control of this vessel at the point when we have become 1 centimeter tall. At the present rate, we will reach less than a fingernail length in 32 minutes. We got 32 minutes on the clock. Put it on the clock.
Deet, deet, deet.
Oh yeah, your phone's out of battery.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have that. Bummer. So Sulu begs for Kirk to let him fire on the planet, and Kirk is like, "What are we even aiming at?"
Yeah, Sulu is going fucking nuts right now.
Yeah. But the control moves and knocks Sulu off, breaking his leg, which is pretty cool. So the crew.
Also, like, I love the structures they've made out of what I don't know. It looks like driftwood.
I think like toothpicks or something.
Yeah, it was very strange. They're able to make ladders and other just random things, just like they climb on. But it's just like, what are they using? Where are they getting wood? Where are they getting twine? That didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Bones is.
I've got these things called matches for one of these things called cigars. I don't know if you heard of them.
I smoke my wacky tobacco.
Yeah, they're weed cigars, marijuana cigarettes.
So Eriks and Kirk try to get Sulu to sickbay, but the electric eye on the automatic door doesn't see them, so they have to open it manually. And that's what they call the automatic door, and that's what they actually called it for a while, like professionally, the product in the 1970s when they actually made it based on Star Trek.
Jesus Christ.
It's like a product that was actually basically introduced by Star Trek in the first place, which is interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah. So in sickbay, Bone says there are more and more fall victims coming in, which is, how do you even run sickbay like that?
I know.
How do people even get there?
Also, this part's really funny to me because they just introduced a ticking clock.
32 minutes.
They got to solve this issue, and they're just like, well, better get Sulu to sickbay.
Yeah.
It's just like they just dedicate their manpower to nursemaiding.
Even though they made him a splint.
Yeah, they made him a splint.
And he's in a safe enough place.
He's in a place, and but like Spock and Kirk take time away from like solving the issue to deal with Sulu's problem.
It's pretty cool. Pretty great decision making, I'd say.
Yeah.
So Nurse Chapel wishes they could use their bone healing laser and then asks if the small one they have for ear bones might work. She gets it, but trips on something and falls into the fish tank. She can't swim, I guess, so Kirk goes to save her and throws a needle, although she might be too dense to swim, come to think of it. Kirk goes in to save her and throws a needle and thread in, but she did get the laser, and it seems to work.
It does bring up a good point, because it's like, I mean, they have like the density, but I don't think they have proportional strength to. So they're basically weigh the same, but they're not as strong as they were. So they're not like ants or anything. So like they don't retain the same strength. So yeah, like Kirk pulling her out, it would be him pulling, you know what's Chapel weigh, like 120 pounds, and he is like at this point 5 inches. So, like he's pretty small still.
I mean, he was maybe 5 inches to begin with.
Yeah.
Hey.
Penis joke.
But they're pretty small right now. So like I don't think he has like enough strength to pull her. But that's something that I just thinking about.
Yeah, I don't know if it's pound for pound representative strength or not.
Yeah, I don't think it is, because I think the strength matches their size and the size of their muscles, but they still have the same density of weight. So it would she would be way too heavy for him to pull out.
Or would they be like ants and like just be able to carry a ton of their body weight? But their body weight is so much greater than an ant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except for my aunt, you know what I'm saying? Oh, she fat. She fat. What's up, world star?
Well, I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Let's see. Spock calculates that in a matter of 29 minutes, the entire crew will stand 1/16 of an inch high, well past the operative point of ship's controls. Kirk calls Scotty and tells him to get a crew down to the transporter room in order to send him down to the planet. By using man-made ladders, the crew manages to get their consoles and use their collective strength to press the transporter buttons. Kirk orders Scotty to set automatic return for him in 10 minutes, saying, if there's anything to be found down there, I should be done in 10 minutes. Which is also what he says about eating pussy.
And taking a dump.
At the same time. I can get my business and my pleasure done at the same time, baby. Upon materialization on the surface of the planet, Kirk immediately grows back to full size, since the transporter retained a memory of his body's molecular structure and changed it to previously detailed size and shape. Suddenly, some volcanoes are exploding and he sees the light waves, but he's knocked on his ass and has his communicator destroyed by the lava. Lava's scary, man.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of lava?
I was as a kid. Now I know I would never interact with it anyway.
You kind of work with lava at work. You work with molten metal all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we did have like a couple of years ago, we did have a girl. She was running the wire. We have these things called strike pads where we if the wire's too long, we strike off on it. And sometimes there's a weird gas mix up with the gas, and so we'll get porosity. And the only way to get it out is if we just run the machine, and just let the wire just feed out and melt against the strike pad. And so she was just letting it just go forever.
Yeah.
And eventually this thing just creates a giant red glob on it, and it fell on her foot and burned all the way through her foot.
Did she lose her foot?
I think she just got a hole burned through it.
Damn, son.
Yeah, it burned right through her boot.
How big was it?
I'm not sure how big it was. We heard about it. They told us about the thing. It was the details. We didn't get a lot of them, but they did tell us that a red hot glob fell on her boot, burned through the boot, and then burned through her foot.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty metal, dog.
That's pretty metal.
It's red hot metal. So Kirk suddenly encounters a miniature city, but is beamed back to the ship by the transporter's automatic settings. Upon returning, he discovers that his bridge crew is gone.
It's gone.
Still normal size, Kirk finds some engineers on the bridge who are still small and asks if they're okay. Scotty says they are, but Big Jim's voice is going to deafen them because he's so big. And he's like, oh, look at my cock now. Right now, and remember how huge it is. Zip. Tell the rest of the ship.
He does that thing in The Boys where he just puts them in his dick hole.
He starts whispering, and Scotty says everyone was beamed away. Kirk opens a channel and threatens the city with all the ship's armaments locked onto his crew if he does not immediately return unharmed, and he will destroy them. Which is like genocide for a problem I don't think he understands at all yet.
No, he doesn't.
I'm going to burn your whole civilization to the ground.
I mean, I think he's also bluffing. I don't think Kirk would actually...
It's still a bluffing genocide. Is not a good look.
No.
He destroys a rock next to the city to prove his power. So cool. That probably killed some people.
Yeah. No, that's the equivalent of our Mount Everest. There was people climbing it.
That was a giant rock next to our city. Yeah. People are dead. It has shrapnel. Don't you get it? We're small.
We literally worshipped it. That was our god.
It was the Hard Rock Cafe and Hotel.
Terratin edition.
So the leader, the Mendant, as he's called, hails Kirk and forbids him to destroy them. He forbids him.
Yeah.
He informs him that the lightning attack was the only way he could get the full attention of the starship. He says their people, being the same power as Kirk's, don't explain their actions or apologize. But in this case, he apologizes to them. He informs Kirk that their city is being threatened by volcanic activity and their adoptive planet is dying. But their great antenna was buried, and so they had to use their planetary defenses to get the Enterprise's attention. So it was a call for help. Mm-hmm. And this is a good time to talk about, a call for help. People around you are doing things like starting a Star Trek podcast, doing Star Trek memes, making Star Trek merch. Mm-hmm. Maybe talk to them. Ask them if they're okay.
Sit them down. Ask them if everything's okay at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or at work.
At work.
Or everywhere. Anywhere. Are things good anywhere? No.
No. Not at all.
No. Except for 5 hours a week when I get to sit in bliss and talk about Star Trek and farts. Lots of farts.
And lots of farts.
Super. So Spock discovers the Terratin narratives to be mutated descendants of a missing early scientific expedition. The survivors of the planet Terra 10. You get it? Terratin? Mind-blowing, dog.
Oh, so
that was a big reveal. That's a big fucking twist, dog.
It's not named after the Maryland Terrapins.
No, I'm sorry. It's Terra 10.
Son of a bitch.
So the crew is transported back to the ship, but since the Terratins cannot be restored to the size of their ancestors, they and their entire city are beamed aboard the Enterprise to be taken to a more stable planet. Someone went in there and took out their dick. It was probably Kirk again.
It was Kirk again.
Behold the biggest dick of all time.
Crawl into this motherfucker.
I want to know how it feels to have more than one person inside me.
This is the ultimate form of sounding.
So the crew's already got that. The crew is transported back to the ship, but since the Terratins cannot be restored to the size of their ancestors, their entire city is beamed to the Enterprise. The leader shows the appreciation of all Terratin inhabitants by naming all of the Enterprise crew honorary Terratins now and for all time. A lot of good that does. You're on a fucking dying civilization, buddy.
I know. That would be funny if Kirk was like, "Wow, thanks," and does like jerk off motion. Like, wow, cool, thanks.
Cool.
Dude.
It's like having your plaque up at the local Applebee's for like eating the most apps one night. Like, great, super.
I'll hang this place in an area where it will get all the respect it deserves. And he just hangs it in the bathroom.
Just throws it in the trash.
Yeah, throws it in the trash. Flushes it down the toilet.
Yeah, that's a key to the city to like fucking Cleveland. Like no one fucking needs that. So Spock says we came rather close to more than honorary. Kirk says, I'd say just about a 16th of an inch too close. Boom, got him. Got him. Fucking call it. So now we get a captain's log supplemental. The Lilliputian city is to be taken to Verdanus and relocated on a fertile and well-watered plain. Then we'll be able to call the Terratin Incident closed. End of episode. Boom. Dang. Bow.
Got him.
We got him good. We got him so hard, baby. What do you think of this episode?
I would have liked to see them actually be put onto the planet, and then like all the natural predators of the planet just like kill them all.
That would be pretty fun.
Like they go, wow, this world is so beautiful, and then like a hawk flies down and takes away an entire family. No, what did they do to us? And then we have like Little Khan. Mm-hmm. It's like, you put us on the wrong planet. Now I will watch you die. As you watched me die.
Yeah.
That would have been good. That would have been a good like have another movie.
Mm-hmm. If you were really small, what mischief would you get into?
It's kind of hard to be that.
Girls locker room.
It'd be kind of hard because I feel at that size you're not able to do a lot of mischief.
Why not? Because transportation is hard.
Yeah, and it's
what if you're already friends with a raven like I am?
If you're friends with the raven,
with the crows,
yeah, like I think you're able to do something. But like, you know, if like, because like 1/16 is like what that big, so it'd be like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to really do anything.
A raven would probably try to eat you, but if you're like super heavy and dense, like it wouldn't. It couldn't.
It may even pass by you because you'd be the size of an ant, so it'd just be like, eh.
Nah, ants sound tasty to crows. I think they like bugs and stuff.
Yeah, so you might have to watch out.
Bugs and drugs, baby.
Yeah, and so I don't think I'd be able to do any mischief at that size. Like I would actually, it would be like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. Where
I'd be like running from danger. Like like benign things like would be like super dangerous to me, and like a lawnmower, like someone mowing their lawn, or someone sitting down or throwing a shoe. Like that would be a hell to me. And I'd be like, I wish I was normal size.
Make me a big boy. Please, someone make me a big boy.
Please, please.
Yeah, I feel that.
Part of the cherry tomato boys.
But I mean, like, yeah, like, fucking food would be so cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's like, as I was saying, like downsizing.
Like, you could eat a bean.
Yeah.
Like, you could just eat a bean as a meal.
A single bean.
A single fucking bean.
I think a single bean would last you like a week.
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah. And Mr. Bean lasts you all year, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Rowan Atkinson lays in some fucking dick.
He lays in that big British dick.
We'd have him dried and dead in a smokehouse.
Yeah, we'd turn him into jerky. Mr. Bean jerky.
And then like have really tall like skice that we would then like reach up and then like cut a little piece of Mr. Bean off and be like, this will feed us for months.
I was more talking about watching the show.
Oh yeah. Okay. So not drying him in a smokehouse and eating him.
Not necessarily. Huh. I mean, I like your idea. I think we should workshop it a bit.
So, just have some maybe nice dry smoked Mr. Bean.
Maybe talk to your doctor about it.
Yeah, but dry cured Mr. Bean, that'd be so good.
Maybe your parole officer.
Be so tender and have a little bit of dry and a little bit of saltiness to him.
A lot bit of salt. He's British, brother.
Yeah, he's pretty salty.
Oh, I bet. I bet he tastes like fucking smoked cod.
I can dig that.
No, you can't. You're vegan.
That's
you
right.
Couldn't be.
I like vegan smoked cod.
There's no such thing.
There isn't.
No one does that. That'd be cool, but no one does that. Barely anyone makes regular smoked cod.
I will say this episode did make me want to go rewatch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids because I used to watch that movie all the time.
Have you ever watched the TV show? Because I got that on the server.
No, I've not.
Yeah.
Wow, I should watch that. Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but I do feel like, you know, how if you revisit like a movie from your childhood, you know, that especially one that was heavy on special effects, and you rewatch it now, and then all you can see is how bad the special effects were.
Right.
And at the time they looked amazing. Like the part where they're in the outside and among all the tall grass and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it looks terrible now.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I haven't seen it since I was very young. So yeah, I think watching it now, I think it would tear my mind apart.
How about a movie about a guy who eats his own cum, and it's called Honey, I Drunk the Kids. Rick Moranis stars again, and he's like, "Oh, I know you wanted to have kids, honey, but it just looked like such a tasty load."
It's just that video of the monkey drinking his own pee, but it's just like Rick Moranis just like cranking off into his mouth.
Yeah. You ever eat your own cum?
No, I have not. No.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Pretty tasty if you have a nice diet.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right.
I eat garbanzo beans and rice.
So it probably tastes like a healthy shit.
Hells yeah.
Yeah. Do you eat it with any spices or any fruits?
Yeah, I put like a no chicken stock cube in the water, and then I add some turmeric, garlic powder,
right,
onion powder, some salt, pepper.
Sure, keep going. I'm almost finished.
Basil, thyme. and then I put in some veggies, and then I put the rice in and the beans, and then just like let it sit.
This sound like you making a gumbo, friend. What kind of gumbo you making over there?
Ooh, I'm making the vegan gumbo. It's not a real gumbo. Everyone hates me. They chase me out. I'm a pariah in my own community.
I ain't got no butter up in my gumbo. I made a bad gumbo. I made a gumbo that's an abomination to the gods of gumbo.
They look at me, they spit on me when they see me.
They call me a pariah. They say, "You Philistine, your gumbo is inferior, and I don't want you on my land. We ought to put all your types of people up in a building and bomb it."
I make my gumbo in secret, open to attract like-minded individuals who crave a vegan gumbo. I'm deep in that swamp. I'm making it, and word spreads. People come all across the land. They come across from foreign lands. They hear about the vegan gumbo in the swamp there now. But I tell them, you can get that there swamp. You get that swamp gumbo. It's vegan. I put only the finest swamp vegetables in that.
Ain't no gumbo without no vegan gator sausage, is what I say.
Vegan gator sausage.
And they don't make no vegan gator sausage. That's the point.
A lot of people say the vegan gator sausage, you know, it's just tofu that I dye green.
Yeah.
And I call that gator
You put the
sausage.
ridges on it.
I put the ridges.
It rib like a condom.
And I tell them it tastes just like real gator sausage, and they're like, "No, it don't. It just tastes like tofu. You dye green, you motherfucker." And I'm like, "All right, okay, now
You got me. Dead to rights.
Dead to rights,
But not dead to wrongs. Not dead to wrongs, you know what I'm saying?
But as I said, there's some like-minded, you know, sick individuals out there who wake up in the morning and say, like, I wish I had a vegan gumbo, but I make it. You know, I'm off the beaten path. You can't find me. You can't find me in any yellow pages.
Oh, I'm off to beating something, all right.
I'm beating off in that gumbo because I'm vegan, so it's vegan.
Yeah, it's not really technically animal product, you see, y'all.
Yeah, so I'm giving my consent for it to be eaten, so it's vegan.
Sure.
This has been Bobby Flay.
This has been Gumbo Talk.
Yeah. So what do you think of this episode?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
For being written by the guy who wrote like 2 of the best TOS episodes, it should have been better.
Yeah.
And it may have been better elongated.
He probably wrote it in an afternoon.
I mean, I feel like he wrote it as a TOS script and like retooled it after it never made it on TV.
Yeah, that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
because it wouldn't have made sense really to make it on TV at this time. Like the special effects would have been ridiculous to make enormous set pieces.
Yeah, that's the thing. He probably did, and they're just like, "Are you insane? Like we have like no budget already, and you want us to make a
giant buttons?
Yeah,
like
you want
4 set pieces of it?
Yeah, you want us to make a giant Enterprise and a giant chair? You want a giant chair? Fuck you! Like you're not getting shit.
I just want a giant mommy.
I remember where I grew up, there was like a guy who built a giant chair, and it was a huge ass chair. It was like for a giant. He just built it.
When you say where I grew up, do you consider it like where you lived the longest in your youth, or where your penis got the biggest?
Again, Britt, this is not something I think about ever. You ask me these questions, and I'm like, I don't know if I have an opinion on this. Like, I'm just like, this is a thought that has never crossed my mind.
All right, sicko.
All right, sicko. Yes. I guess where I grew up. You're looking for the answer.
Yeah. So where you spent the most time?
Spent the most time as a child, yes.
Yeah. When did you first learn about foreskin?
Probably when me and my friend were peeing in the same toilet together.
Nice.
And he was uncircumcised. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, and you're like, can you open that up?
Let daddy stick it in.
And it's like you're 7 years old. Why are you calling yourself daddy?
And I was like, that's cool as hell.
Yeah,
No,
right.
I didn't say that. I was just like,
You're looking like a windsock. That's pretty cool.
just flying in the wind.
And your uncircumcised penis looks like a candle in the wind.
Yeah, I had a. I'm not sure if he was a friend or not, but he was just like a weird guy I knew in high school, and he was just like, he was just like, yeah, he's like, are you circumcised? I'm like, yeah, and he's like, can I see it? I was like, no.
Can I taste it? see, you never say yes to something like that because he's looking for the door there. It's like the guy. There used to be a guy who hung out at Goth Night who would like always compliment people on their shoes, right?
They wanted to suck them shoes.
Exactly. Yeah. Like after a couple like compliments, like he'd ask to like lick your shoes and suck your shoes and shit. That was his thing, and it was weird. I let him do it once, and then I'm like, no, I'm not really into that actually.
See, I don't know. That those shoes are outside and walking around in Seattle.
Yeah, and
I feel there's.
I think that was kind of the fascination why I let him do it in the first place. I'm like, these are dirty ass shoes, and he's gonna fucking lick them.
Like you do know what the streets of Seattle are, and especially Capitol Hill are like, so don't you?
Right, and it was right on Capitol Hill.
Yeah. What, Mercury Lounge or whatever?
No. This was at the Baltic.
Oh, Baltic. Yeah.
And
so
there,
So like, I mean, there's just pee everywhere, dude. Like
pee everywhere. Pee everywhere.
Yeah. That's why I could never do anything like that, because like it would instantly set off like all of the alarms in my brain. That's like I'm going to I'm gonna wake up with a disease.
Yeah.
Like licking the shoes, dirty shoes of someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I am featric toey, but I have limits.
You do. You like them outside the shell.
Yeah.
I like them like them pistachios. You got to take the shell off first.
Yeah, you got to take the shell off.
Oh yeah, Jim. Let me see them bunions. Yeah, you worked a hard day, Daddy. Daddy wants to rub them feet, doesn't he? He does.
Yeah. I mean,
Daddy wants to stick his dick in between them feet, doesn't he? He does, Jim. He does.
I tip my hat to the extreme foot guys like that guy. Like I do. Like more power to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite foot guy?
Favorite foot guy?
Is it Dan Schneider? What was his name from Nickelodeon?
He was a foot guy?
The guy who did all those shows. Yeah, he was famously a foot guy, and he took pictures of like a lot of kids' feet and shit.
Yeah, I did hear he was a creep because I listened to I'm Glad My Mom's Dead.
Right.
And she talked briefly about her experience with him and how he was like plying her with alcohol when she was like 15.
Cool.
And
he played the manager on Good Burger.
I never actually seen Good Burger.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Good Burger 2 just came out, and I need to put that on the server. You should watch Good Burger, at least 1, maybe 2. I haven't watched it yet. I can't comment.
So yeah, I mean, I know what the guy looks like. I've seen because he was like featured in a lot of different things.
Featured.
But yeah, I did hear he's a creep. Like, yeah, I listened to him. Glad My Mom's Dead, and he was just like getting her drunk, and trying to take advantage of her. I'm like, yeah. And then there's like other stories, but no, I mean, he's like a dark foot guy. I'm not. Yeah. Like I don't play with dark foot guys.
He wears the black socks.
Yeah.
He's not a white sock kind of guy.
I consider myself a white sock, and yeah, we don't talk about the dark socks.
No.
Yeah, like we like benevolent foot guys like that. Like even though like that guy in the goth club, he's probably a white sock. I mean, he seeks consent.
He does.
But he's an extreme white sock.
He's like almost a gray sock. Yeah, he's kind of a gray sock. Let's be honest.
He's a gray sock.
Or maybe a red sock.
Yeah. Yeah, he lives in the space between. He lives in a world where conventional human morality is out the window. Like he is he is a creature of chaos.
Right.
Like he's a truly neutral. Like he's chaotic neutral. Mm-hmm. And like I guess like as a white sock, I have to, let him go by. Yeah,
your foot alignment is like good, lawful good.
Yeah, I'm a very lawful good foot guy and like white sock and
right.
And so like,
I should make a foot alignment chart. Make that a shirt.
And so I avoid dark socks at all at all costs. Like Dan Schneider, I don't fuck with him. Mm-hmm. Like I would not talk feet with that guy. No. Like I feel I could talk with a gray sock. Like we could exchange ideas about feet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I could not cross into the gray sock territory. That's beyond my capacity.
Do you think Bones is a gray sock, white sock, or black sock?
It's hard.
Oh, I bet it is.
I do feel like I think he probably would be a gray sock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a gray sock.
Right.
Like I can see him like a gray sock would do something like stealing someone's shoes when they're not looking, or going through someone's hamper, and it's not like affecting them directly. Like whereas as a dark sock would forcefully like force themselves on someone's feet, like Dan Schneider. Yeah. Like a gray sock,
it's more like. You wake up in sick bay and he's like, "Oh, I took the liberty of taking off your socks for you. Yeah. I put them in the drawer over there."
And then they would be perfectly folded.
Yeah,
and
perfectly smelled. They have some of his nose hairs on it.
Yeah, it's something that's like sort of weird, but not altogether like malevolent.
Right.
And so it's like and he's not touching anyone physically, even though it is very strange.
It is.
So yeah, I would imagine he is a gray sock, but I don't even think he would like take the socks off of someone. I think he would just go through their hamper or like steal their shoes.
Yeah. I think that's a great place for us to leave it.
I'm putting a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. You're going to be thinking about this all night. That's why I fed you the fucking Red Bull.
I'm going to be like,
I dropped a Rhino XL 369 in there. So you're going to be thinking about feet all night, baby.
Oh, no!
go.
You're gonna be like putting like different characters in the foot alignment chart. And,
I'm gonna have the Charlie board where I'm gonna have like everyone's alignment based on what kind of foot guy they are.
What kind of sock they wear.
Yeah, what kind of sock they wear. Are they the dark sock, the gray sock, or the white sock? Yeah.
Or the red sock.
And
you can have different types of white socks.
I feel a red sock is worse than a dark sock, probably. I feel that's like a serial
I feel like
killer.
Red is like chaotic neutral.
Okay.
Right.
I thought gray socks were more chaotic neutral.
I think those are like true neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think like what would a red sock do?
Red sock, as far as foot stuff goes, they'd like, they would like just go into a room and dump a ton of water on the floor in hopes that everyone would have to take their socks and shoes off.
Oh, okay. So they would manufacture situations that would make people have to take their shoes or socks off.
Correct.
And then like leer at their feet.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Whereas Bones would be like, well, the situation calls for looking at feet. So I guess I have to do it a lot in my line of work.
Like he would perform like a podiatrist like style examination, and it would be like on the level of podiatry. Like it would on surface level it would.
But he would also be thinking about it. He be putting it right in the spank bank.
Yeah.
Computer, record. Do you mind if I record? Computer, record this now.
I got a need from one of the goes. But then like I guess like kind of like the next level to the red sock would be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna need you to step on this cake.
It's a medical cake.
It's a medical cake. I just want to get an impression of your foot
for some inserts for your shoes. You see?
And then he eats the cake when they're gone.
But first, he actually makes the mold of the feet and eats that out of cake.
He makes the mold. He makes two molds. He makes the mold for what he said he was going to do, and then he has the other mold to lick, and then he eats the cake.
Love to see it, don't we, folks?
Love to see it. I think we've really we've tapped into something that's not talked about a lot.
The foot alignment chart.
The foot alignment chart, and I think it's a true chart. I think this is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we're onto something. This is the new astrology. Move aside, star signs. We've got something else for you.
Yeah. I'm glad. I definitely feel like I am a white sock, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Excellent.
Are you a white sock premicist?
Yes. All right, that was a good place to stop it. We gave people something to think about.
I think so.
Yeah, cool. Everyone's going to be thinking about feet.
Everyone's always thinking about feet, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say? Everything is about power, except for feet.
Mm. Okay.
Feet is about feet.
Mm. All right. All right. Well, thanks for checking with us, soy boys, girls, and woodly beans.
Hang dong and shocker.
Robot race, robot wrongs and robot fights, robot man, robot girl, robot town and a robot world. We're going robot town in a robot world. We're going robot town in a robot world. I'm a robot boy, you're a robot girl, and I'm gonna check on mouth, my big ass robot dick all over your robot tits. Your big robot tits. Your big floppy fucking robot tits. Alright, big robot tits.